Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Prime Minister Andrew Holness finds Starstruck ministers who attended Shensea's album launch. Following backlash and outrage from the general public about giving special preference to promoter Romeich Major, the 5 ministers of government who attended Shensea's album launch at Major Campbell's Boulevard Entertainment headquarters on Tuesday have been fined $100,000 each. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the revelation during his budget presentation on Thursday. His announcement came after news that effective Friday, March 18, 2022, the entertainment sector would be officially reopened. Dubbing the ministers present at the launch at Starstruck, Holness appointed Minister Oliver Grange to collect the funds and donate it to a worthy charity. Some people were starstruck and forget their senses. I believe they should be fined. And so, Minister Grange, who is used to being among stars and kept her mask on, I am appointing new minister to collect $100,000 from every minister who was there and make a donation to a worthy charity. Minister of Finance Dr. Nigel Clark, Minister of Health Dr. Christopher Tufton, Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang, Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports Olivia Babs Grange, and the Minister without portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister OPM Floyd Green, and State Minister Alonzo Thurlong were all in attendance at the album launch. They were all photographed, sometimes maskless, hugging and defying social distancing orders as they interacted with Shensea, Major and other guests. The breaches of the DRMA resulted in criticism from the general public, who indicated that the attendance of the ministers was a clear indication of favoritism, as the entertainment sector had not yet been formally reopened. Prime Minister announces lifting of ban on entertainment events. In what was perhaps his most highly anticipated announcement yet, Prime Minister Andrew Holness signaled the official reopening of the entertainment sector during his budget debate presentation on Thursday. Holness revealed that effective March 18, 2022, all measures under the Disaster Risk Management Act (DRMA) will be withdrawn. This means that night curfews will come to an end, so too will the formal lockdown on the entertainment industry. Mask wearing will now only be required in enclosed spaces to which the public has access. With the entertainment sector now given an official green light to resume live events, Holness also announced that within the first 6 months of reopening, the cost of obtaining event permits will be reduced by 50%. He also indicated that he has directed government entities to examine the possibility of cutting the cost of state-owned venues to accommodate events or, where necessary, offer those venues to promoters rent-free, indicating that he not only supports the entertainment sector, we talk about also with cash. Prime Minister Andrew Holness said his government has directed the Chase Fund to create a $150 million window of support in loans for the industry. Musicians, entertainers, and theatre production companies, among other entities, are set to benefit. And while the PM has announced that the DRMA rules will be gazetted come Friday, he sought to remind the public that COVID is still very prevalent and urged them to be cautious when out and about. While we acknowledge that the pandemic is not over, it must be mainstreamed into the general normal management of public health, safety, and public order. It is no longer sustainable to manage the pandemic as a special project by executive order through DRMA. However, risks still remain and continued vigilance is necessary, he stated. We still recommend that you use your discretion, stay out late only if you must, and ensure your safety and security. I re-emphasize that we are not declaring an end to the pandemic. There are still outbreaks happening all over the world. We must be cautious and even now be prepared for the emergence of new strain or existing strain that may cause new waves of infection, he added. Since the Prime Minister's announcement, the dates of several events have been confirmed. Among them are Does and Don'ts set for March 29, I Love Soca set for April 18, Sunset for April 17, Cross the Waters set for May 21. The Prime Minister has, however, indicated that permits granted for entertainment events as of March 18 will include a condition that the number of individuals in any venue must be below 70% of the capacity. This condition, he said, will be kept until the 15th of April 2022. Transport Authority reverses decision to issue Buff Bay to Portland Road license. The Transport Authority has backtracked on a recent decision to grant Portland Cabby's 45 new route license following complaints. The decision was announced Wednesday during a meeting with transport operators. A reassessment will be done over the next 4 weeks, and then a final decision will be made. We have responsibility for saying we are going to issue those licenses, and now we are going to backtrack, said the authority's managing director, Willard Hilton. The initial decision to grant the route sparked a protest by bus operators who withdrew their services on Monday and called for the license to be withdrawn. This decision left several commuters stranded. The authority was adamant then that its decision was final. Hilton downplayed Wednesday's about-face. "I don't regard it as an embarrassment for the Transport Authority. I regard it as part of how we solve the problem. We are responsible to respond to the public. It is our responsibility to respond to the cry of the stakeholders," he said. There have been a meeting with some of the transport selectors, major stakeholders in the parish last week, he said, ahead of the one held on Wednesday, an effort to have wide consultation. With the applications for route license on hold, he said the next step will go back in the field and do another assessment. "We have 25 applications that we said we will do. I will convene a meeting with them on Friday to explain the process, so we are going to take and to change the mindset about how we operate," said Hilton. Other parties present agreed to the suggested approach. Operators already granted license will be able to service assigned routes while the assessment is being done. Morant Bay inmate found hanging in cell. An inmate at the Morant Bay police station reportedly hung himself on Wednesday, the police have confirmed. The unidentified man was found during routine checks by officers at the holding facility. He was reportedly arrested on suspicion of rape and malicious communication. The Independent Commission of Investigation is probing the incident. PNP Gen Secretary calls for better financing for territory students. General Secretary of the People's National Party PNP Dayton Campbell is calling for a revision of the Students' Loan Bureau stipulations as an incentive for youngsters to consider higher education and in turn curb the appeal of criminal activities. Campbell, who was speaking on Wednesday during a post-budget debate press conference in St. Andrew, said the stipulations of SLB often leave university graduates scrambling to make ends meet and living a lesser quality of life than criminals, in particular lottery scammers. Campbell asserted that this reality should not be so and advocate for the incentivization of education and the removal of guarantors as a requirement for a student loans. "We really need to incentivize education and ambition. It cannot be that I go to university and when I come back, the scammer is living a better life." On the issue of the Students' Loan Bureau, when I was going to university, I had to rely on a church brother to be a guarantor in order for me to be able to go. Removing the need for guarantors is very good because there are a lot of students who would have been able to be more academically inclined than myself who would want to matriculate to university but cannot find a guarantor. I really think that it is an important thing if we are going to allow education to be a redemptive tool for the society, the PNP General Secretary said. Campbell said that when he left medical school in 2008, the basic salary of a medical intern was approximately $80,000 after tax. He shared that SLB required him in the first couple of months to pay around 80% of his basic salaries on the loan each month. Having that personal experience, Campbell said, he supports an income contingent repayment plan. "A plan to say that I am capping how much I am asking you to pay is an important one," he said. Opposition leader and president of the People's National Party, Mark Golding, recommended that the $7.5 billion set aside to cover the SLB's bad debt be used to give university students who have suffered economically through the COVID-19 pandemic a special waiver. They would no longer have the mental and financial stress of caring for their burden forward and would give them a fresh start and improve their credit rating with the local credit rating agencies as well. This would be very much appreciated by those students, and it wouldn't cost anything additional to the SLB because the provisions have already been made in their accounts for that, Golding stated. That bureau has been running at a surplus, which is good. It made approximately $900 million in the fiscal year now ending. The amount collected from guarantor over the years did not even reach $55 million. We are saying also, don't make grantor requirements an impediment to students. Let the students who need financing to achieve tertiary education access it. NWSC to improve all infrastructure. For the 2022-2023 fiscal year, National Water Commission (NWSC) will continue efforts to improve the aged infrastructure and expand the coverage of its network across the island to enhance service delivery and ensure revenue sustainability. Its capital program will include the continuation of the Spanish Town Road Mains Replacement Project, which has been identified as one such project requires to increase the distribution of water in Kingston. Focus will also be placed on the Port Royal Distribution Main Replacement and Sewage Treatment Plant, which is required to support the development plans for Port Royal. The information is contained in the 2022-2023 Public Bodies Estimates of Revenue and Expenditure, which was tabled recently in the House of Representatives. The document also noted that effective metering, billing, and collection are of paramount importance to the sustainability of the NWC's operations. Accordingly, the replacement of aged meters, metering of unmetered account, and the installation of more accurate meters will continue during this year. In this regard, $3.5 billion is earmarked for its metering program. Approximately 50,000 meters are targeted for installation during the 2022-2023 financial year, the document said. Meanwhile, in recognition of the importance of technology in the improvement of operational efficiency, the NWSC will continue the digitalization and modernization of its operations by strengthening the capacity of its information and communications technology infrastructure to improve efficiency and ensure business continuity. In addition, the NWSC plans to reduce energy consumption from non-renewable energy sources by 2% from an average consumption of 17,152 megawatt-hours NWH to 16,809 megawatt-hours. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.